Good morning, it's Lisa with Lisa Heal Yourself, and today we're going to talk about intensity. The intensity of which you live is the degree to which your stress response is turned on and the degree to which you are not healing your chronic illness, your chronic pain, your chronic condition, your chronic symptoms, whatever your chronic diagnosis is. So this morning I'm out for a walk with my dogs and we walk by this road, and it's right here. It's kind of, it's not a busy road, but cars come by it really fast, and sometimes a lot of them come at one time. So we're walking, and my dogs see a squirrel or whatever. I have them loosely in my hand. My one dog pulls out, okay? Gets away from me, the leash falls on the ground, and in a split second, I panic. And I lunge for the leash because I see like 3 cars coming. She doesn't understand roads. She doesn't know roads. She's close to the road. I know she's going to go on the road because that's the way she's pulling in the direction of her leash when it's on the ground. I know in a split second she's going to be on the road, and the 3 cars that are coming are going to be there. So I instinctively lunge for the leash. I miss it. So I dive. Like it's almost like a baseball player. I dive kind of for the leash. I fall on the ground. I fall on my butt. I manage to grab the leash. Just as the car goes by, she doesn't go out in the road. The car misses her. All is well, okay? But there I am in the ground, looking up. The car makes eye contact with me, and I feel like this surge of shame and embarrassment because there I am in the ground, totally intense, right? I've totally done this intense move, and it's just a leisurely day out, a Sunday morning drive here, and he's probably looking at me thinking like, she's crazy. Like, where did that intensity fly from where she lunged like a baseball player diving for a base to get this leash? But the intensity to which I did that is the intensity to which you, anyone with chronic illness, chronic pain, chronic suffering, any kind of a diagnosis, any kind of a condition, lives their life moment to moment. That is the state of which you're in, an intense, alert, wide-eyed state, ready for anything. I don't know if you know dogs, but I have a young terrier who, when we're on a walk, is totally on alert. She's on alert to every sound, every movement in the brush. She's scanning, she's looking for squirrels, her tail's up. She's happy, but she is intense, okay? She does everything with a state of intensity. So for those of you who know terriers, they're intense, right? They're scanning around, they're looking, they're ready to lunge, they want to jump, chase squirrels. They are ready to go. I want you to picture a lab, an older lab, maybe a lab who's like 6 or 7 years old, who's not a puppy anymore, who's chill, who doesn't have that intensity about them, who's like laying back, tummy up in the air, ready to be rubbed, just like no care in the world, not intense, okay? That is the difference between you and somebody living with a chronic condition, okay? It's the intensity. It's the level of intensity and alertness that your body is always on, okay? So we want you not to be like the terrier on a walk. When the door rings, you're just barking madly, scrambling after it. You want to be like the chill lab who doesn't bark when people come to the door, who's just like, when the squirrel walks by, who's just happy, just panting, tongue hanging out, just enjoying life. Another dog walks by, he's not like all over it, high on alert, barking, whatever. He's just chill. He's just the same. He's just peaceful. Now I want you to picture for a minute a herd of gazelle on the open plains, and a lion comes, okay? In the distance, a lion comes. One gazelle sees and notices the danger, stops in their tracks, freezes, and everything in their body is in high alert, okay? They're intense. They may not be doing anything. They may be standing completely still. But this gazelle is at a level of intensity, and the energy is so thick that the chemicals and the biological chemicals actually move from that one, almost instantly, from that one gazelle to all the gazelles. The chemical energy signal sent out of intensity goes to all of them. And within moments, all of them are frozen, ears plucked up, eyes scanning around, ready and intense to either run for their life to save themselves, right? This is nature. This is what happens quickly, subconsciously, this level of alertness. So even though the intensity, you can't see it, right? You would look at these gazelles and say that they're perfectly still. They are perfectly immobile almost. There's no intensity about them, yet their body is filled from head to toe with intensity, even though they just stand there. That is you. That is you. That is anyone who is living with a chronic illness. You are living with a level of intensity all the time, even when you're sitting still. You are ready, you're on guard, and you're intense. So the way that that I lunged for the leash this morning, right, is the way you do everything, okay? So the way you make a decision about what protocol to do, what food to eat, any symptom that pops up, any headache, any sore muscle pain, any little flare, whatever's happening to you, your intensity antenna goes up. So the level to which you are aware and respond, your energetic level of intensity, is the same as life and death stakes, is the same as the gazelle on the plain that senses the danger of the lion. So everything you're doing is at a level and an intensity of life or death. Every decision, like, is life or death. Should I eat this or that? My life depends on it. Should I do this protocol or that protocol? My life depends on it. Should I have this supplement or not? My life depends on it. I better stop and tune into it and pay attention to it with everything I have as if my life depends on it. So the stakes are high. The life and death stakes are high with every decision, every symptom, the way that you approach your life. And the reason that you're controlling is because you want to create order in your life of which you feel out of control. Right, and that's why we attempt to create false control with things. So I noticed this as I'm unpacking my house and moving into my new house, that I have a tendency to do this and to fall into this, and I have to be really careful because the way that I approach anything, like where to hang a picture, how far to hang a towel bar to the right or the left, the rate at which and the speed at which the house gets unpacked and the boxes get taken away, I notice that I fall into a pattern of I'm doing it as if the stakes are high. I'm doing it at a speed, my speed increases, my intensity increases, as if it's a life and death stakes. And I notice this and I'm tuned into this because I understand this stuff. So I have to catch myself and stop myself and work on ways to remind myself that these are not life and death stakes, right? Where I hang the picture is not life and death. But if you're not careful, you can get into these patterns where everything that you do is at an intensity level that where the stakes are high, it feels like life and death, and the chemicals that are going off in your body are being produced in a way that is saying danger, danger, danger. You may also do this with relationships in your life, okay? And this is because of patterns and history that our intensity level goes from 0 to 10 within moments, okay? So you can be around a particular person who triggers you. Just imagine that person who triggers you in whatever way they trigger you. And because you have a history with them of being triggered, you bring an intensity to the room and the relationship and the dialogue and the conversation with this person that is of life and death stakes. And so when you're triggered, you immediately respond as if you're in a life and death, high stakes situation. And an energy that is frantic, that is high, that is filled and fueled by fear and stress, and has you reacting and responding unconsciously, not consciously. So it has you reacting and responding as if you are in danger, as if you need to control this, and as if you need to get to safety, as if you're a gazelle and the lion's on the plain, as if you're a terrier and you see a squirrel, right? As if you drop your dog's leash and there's a car coming. Everything that you do and say, especially in relationship and around situations and people who trigger you, also is affected like this. So when you have a symptom come up, it's no doubt that you're already in high stakes. You feel like it's life or death. You feel literally like your life depends on monitoring this symptom, on solving this symptom, and having the symptom go away. The stakes are that high for you because if you have chronic illness, you don't feel like you're going to die. You feel like things are never going to get better, and you feel like it is a life and death problem that you're dealing with it. And I won't lie, this is part of the confusion, is because partly your body's right. It can't deal with pain and intense symptoms. It can't deal with all of these things because it instinctively knows that these are life and death situations, right? When you burn your hand on a stove and you pull it away quickly with intensity, it's because the pain signals, you're wired to respond to them. So when your symptoms come up and you respond to them, you're actually doing what nature intends you to do. So you're not doing anything wrong. Here's the first thing. Your body's on high alert. It's dealing with high stakes, with a life and death intensity, and it's doing it at an intense rate. You have an intense controlling personality. You want to solve the problem. Your brain works overtime and you respond and react as if you're in danger and as if your life depends on it. And that's normal for what you're going through, because what you're going through sucks. What you're going through is painful, and what you're going through feels, and even in some situations can be and could be life and death. Even if your condition is life and death, the way in which you relate or talk to that person in your life who triggers you is not. What you choose to eat is not. Where you choose to hang the picture or how fast you can get your boxes unpacked is not. Right? Your to-do list is not. Whether or not you clean the dishes or not, or get them done, is not. So even if your condition is high stakes life and death, all the ways that you're relating, because you are already bringing the high stress response to the situation, you're already in an activated stress response and you're living with intensity, you're actually bringing intensity to things that are not life and death. And since you're doing that and you're living in this constant state of activated stress response where your sympathetic nervous system is turned on, you cannot heal. So you cannot help your body actually heal the problem that it really needs to focus on, which is getting better. Because while you're in stress, while that gazelle is out there and its stress system is activated, its fight or flight nervous system is activated, it won't digest, it can't sleep, it can't rest, and it couldn't heal either, because those systems are biologically turned off on purpose so that you can flood your system with adrenaline and cortisol and get ready to fight or run for your life. So the systems are in complete opposite to actually what your body needs in order to heal. You may have a severe pain condition, you may have cancer, you may have multiple sclerosis, you may have Parkinson's, but if you bring your level of intensity and your level of this is life and death, which it very well may be, to everything else in your life, you are never turning off your sympathetic nervous system and you're never giving your body the chance to heal. Even if there are high stakes and even if it is life and death, we need to turn it around and we need to pretend that it's not. And we certainly need to bring our parasympathetic response, our rest and digest and heal response to the forefront so that our body has a chance to heal, because that's when the body heals. And the way we do this is by turning down the intensity to which we live our life, by reminding ourselves that we're the gazelle and we just saw the lion, but it's actually a wounded lion and it can't come and get you, it can't pounce, or it's tied up, or it's chained. Okay, we have to remind ourselves that it's not a real threat. When we drop the leash and the dog's gonna go on the road, what if it was in a big, large meadow, not beside a road? The stakes wouldn't be as high. We wouldn't be lunging quite as fast. We need to bring the intensity that we drop the leash not by a road or a busy road or a highway, but in a wide open meadow with nobody else around. The way that we practice this is by being very conscious and aware of our subconscious patterns and by our energy. So we want to be aware of this energy at all times. Are we intense? Is the way we're speaking intense? Is it fast? Are our thoughts running fast, or are they running slow in our brain? We want to slow down the intensity, turn it down like a volume control. So we want to slow down our breathing. We want to slow down our talking. We want to slow down our thinking. And we want to slow down our reaction and our responses. So when we notice that we're actually responding and reacting rather than pausing and thinking. So particularly whenever you're working through your to-do list and you feel overwhelmed or stressed out, or like you can't get it done fast enough, or that the stakes are high, or that you feel like if you don't, get this clean or get this done or knock these things off your list, that everything's gonna fall apart. This is specifically when we need to check our energy, check our intensity level, bring the intensity level down in a conscious way through breathing, through slowing down our speaking, slowing down our thinking, and reminding ourselves that we are safe, we're okay, we can do this, and to relax our muscles in our body and to approach it in a different way. Because when we can do this over and over, our body starts to respond and react in a new way. And when it does, and when it's in this new way, that is the healing way, and that is the way in which your body actually starts to turn on the systems like digest, rest, repair, heal. So this is the state that we have to live in. Okay, so aside from those few moments where your adrenaline literally spikes because you drop your dog's leash right next to a road and it legitimately spikes and you legitimately lunge for it, we don't want to live our life in that state of high alertness, of intensity. We don't want to live our relationships with that high intensity. We don't want to work on our daily to-do list with that high intensity. We don't want everything to matter so much, and that we bring an energy of intensity to it. And whenever we notice that we are being intense, that our voice is intense, that our actions are intense, our responses or our reactions are intense, it means we're in fight or flight system. It means that we're not healing. So we have to catch ourselves. So becoming aware is vitally important, because a lot of this is unconscious, it's subconscious, it's deep-rooted patterns, and you don't even notice it. I want to talk about why this is so confusing, okay, and why this confused me for so long, and why I just could not give up control, and I could not lower my intensity no matter what. It's because in life, everything else works the opposite way to what I'm telling you to do, okay, and you have learned instinctually, generationally, through evolution, and you have learned throughout your life that trying hard, practicing, focusing, bringing intensity, your hardest efforts produces results. Nothing good has ever come out of your life that you haven't set an intention to get and to work hard at and to be good at. Nothing has ever happened, right? So probably everything that's ever happened to you in your life good and that has been successful is a result of bringing a high intensity and bringing this energy of I need to focus and really put my all into this with fierce intensity. So maybe it's your career. Maybe it's the grades you got in school. Maybe it's a relationship or a friendship. Like for me, building a house. Maybe, anything that has ever happened to you, like climbing the ladder, getting more money, right? Finding the man of your dreams, marrying them, having kids, whatever it is, having a wonderful clean house and an immaculate yard, whatever it is, you have put those things on to-do lists, you've looked at them, you've tried hard, you've brought a conscious energy of dedication and high intensity and focus, and these things are really praised in life, and these things get you what you want. Any athlete, any Olympian has practiced with a fierce dedication and intensity, right? They have brought high life and death stakes to their calling and their situation. They have worked nights, like maybe somebody who has the career they want, or has written a book, or has been famous or whatever. They're practicing, they're living their life with a focus and a dedication and motivation, everything to what they're doing has gotten them what they wanted. And so this teaches the brain being motivated, being dedicated, having high intensity, extreme focus will reward you. And it has rewarded you probably with everything that you have in life. And when you look around, it's rewarded everybody else, right? That you know who has amazing, successful things in their life. This is what's gotten them there. And so the thing that's very hard to understand is that it works with everything in your life that you want. Everything in your life that you could possibly want. It works by doing this, except with healing. And that is why it's so infuriating. That is why it brings us to our knees. That is why we feel lost and hopeless and like we'll never be able to climb our way out, because the harder we try to heal and the more intensity and focus and dedication and energy that we bring to this situation, the less we can heal. And it just doesn't make sense to our brain. It doesn't make sense to us as human beings, and it doesn't make sense to our primitive brain either. And so when we notice that our diet isn't working, or our healing protocol isn't working, or all the efforts that we're putting into it isn't working, we double down, we try harder, we bring a more laser focused energy, we raise our intensity higher. And the reason why this works with everything else except healing is because when we focus on everything else in our life and we bring life and death, high intense stakes to the situation, and our nervous system is activated, turned on, and we're in the fight or flight response, we are programmed in that response to be stronger, be smarter, be faster, and get away, dominate our enemy, run from our enemy, outsmart our enemy. Like, we are turned on, we're activated to our full evolutionary potential in that moment. And that's why bringing all of this energy to something that you want to accomplish in life helps you get it, okay? But with healing, it's the opposite, because we actually want to be in a parasympathetic response, a rest and digest phase, a healing phase. And so when we bring the wrong energy to it, when we bring the wrong state of our nervous system, we literally cannot heal. Begin to try harder. We double down. We bring a more intense focus. And I want you to see that by doing that, your brain is thinking, I am going to accomplish this, and I'm going to do everything I can. I'm going to try as hard as I can. And you're bringing your biggest fight, your biggest flight, your biggest response. Your nervous system is fully activated and ready to respond and outsmart, outfight, and outrun the predator. But the problem is you can't use this to outrun this predator, because the predator is the response itself. Okay, the response itself is making you sick, is hurting you, is keeping you sick, is keeping you in chronic symptoms and pain and suffering. So we have to completely let go of our desire to control or to change this or to overcome this. Because when we do, we just turn on our sympathetic nervous system, and we actually must turn it off to heal. Because when the gazelle runs away, or when you run away and you're now grazing on the fields and eating the grass, that is when your body can turn on its system, where it can digest the food, it can heal and rest and repair those torn tissues and everything that you had to turn around to activate something. So when you're working on a goal in your life, like being the best Olympian or overcoming something, yeah, you want your fight or flight nervous system activated and turned on, because you want to be the best. And that is the best chance you have to be smarter and faster and stronger than everyone. But when you're healing, and you bring that energy and that intensity to it, it's counterproductive. You need it to be turned off. You basically need to be the calmest, the stillest, the most zen, so that you can rest, repair, digest, almost be in a state of deep sleep and relaxation. Although it's counterintuitive, I want you to understand the reason, because I fought it for so long. I was like, no, I'm gonna try harder. I'm gonna do more thing. And then you fall down into a hole of hopelessness because nothing works and you can't understand it. It doesn't add up to you because everything else in your life has worked this way and has brought you goodness and has got you success and has gotten you to where you are. And this is the one thing that won't and never will respond to that. And I'm repeating myself here for a reason. It is so important that you understand why it's not working and why it never will, because this can go on for years where you think, I have to try harder, I must focus more, I must bring more intensity, I must dedicate my life to healing until I'm healed. Hear the intensity in that sentence. Hear the energy. Hear the sympathetic dominant nervous system being activated and turned on, and it will never turn off because you can never ever heal in that state. And so while I admire your dedication, your tenacity, your strong-willed nature, your fierce intensity, and your never-ending will to do whatever you can to heal yourself, I hear you, I feel you, I sympathize with this plight. And I want you to know that it is not, you're looked at as being strong and successful when you show these qualities to the world. People admire you, and I know part of you thinks, I can't just sit here. I'll be a loser if I just sit here and I don't try. What is that teaching my kids, my family? What does that say about me as a person? Because everything that you have learned in this life is when you try harder and you do more and you put in more of an effort, that's when the miracle, that's when the thing really happens. But what you have to try harder at is lowering your intensity. What you have to do more of is letting go. What you have to be relentless about is being still, right? It's the opposite of what you want to do and what you have ever been taught and you've ever known to be true. But I'm telling you the truth, it's not being lazy. You're not doing the right thing. You are doing the right thing. And it's the hardest thing you'll ever do because it's so counterintuitive to everything you've ever known and every instinct that you've ever had. So again, we're gonna run through the ways quickly. We want to slow down our breath. We want to slow down the speed at which we're moving, walking. We want to slow down the speed at which we're speaking and talking. We want to slow down the speed at which we are thinking and the thoughts are running through our brain. We want to turn down the intensity on all of these physical, mental, emotional levels so that we can become aware of what it feels like when our muscles are tense and when they're not tense. So we want to loosen our muscles, relax our muscles. That is another way. Breathe more often. Rest. Be still. The best thing you can do is sit, even for a few minutes, and just practice stillness. There is no intensity in stillness. The intensity is zero in stillness. So you want to get as still as possible, especially when your symptoms, your mind, your thoughts, your voice, your actions, your speed, whatever it is racing and is filled with intensity. That is when you need most to be still. Once you understand what stillness feels like, then you want to approach everything in your life with an energy of stillness, with an energy of Zen-like Buddhist monk stillness. If you want to heal, you must retrain your brain to respond this way. This is why there's a lot of talk about neuroplasticity and retraining the brain. It's retraining these patterns. Really, I feel it's these deep-rooted patterns, reactions and responses that we want to retrain, right? I'm safe and all is right with the world. When is the last time you felt that way, truly? Walked around just feeling like everything's okay, doesn't matter what happens, what does or doesn't happen. I'm okay, I'm safe, it's a beautiful day, all is right with the world, and I feel good. I feel still. I feel calm. I feel at peace. That is what we're going for, and it's probably so opposite to how you've been living for so long, which is why you're in a chronic situation of pain or symptoms or suffering mental, emotional, and physical conditions and diagnosis that have been going on for a long time and that are of life and death stakes. It's because of the way that you've been reacting and responding over a lifetime that has added up to the fact that your body cannot get in the healing response mode. It's constantly in sympathetic mode. And so that's where diseases happen. That's where chronic conditions happen. You can heal yourself. You are safe. You are okay. Everything's okay. Breathe. Let go of your muscles. Turn your thoughts down. Slow everything down. Intentionally, almost so that you imagine what it looks like in a movie in slow motion. Okay? Because right now, you can't even afford to live in normal motion. I want you to think of the 3 modes, right, of video. You can just be normal. You can have me on normal mode. You can have me speed me up, where I'm in fast motion. And everything's intense in fast motion. I'm moving fast. I'm talking fast. Everything is fast. Or you can slow me right down to slow motion. This over-exaggerated slow motion, slow thinking, easy going vibe is what you really need to be in. This is the energy state that leads to healing. So, although it's counterintuitive, although it is not easy, although it's not natural, and although you may be going against what nature's programmed you to do, you must do it, and you must start every moment of your day as a chance to do this. It's not like I blew it, I already blew it today, I'm in high intensity, I'll just start tomorrow. No, it's every moment, because this is how you're living your life. You bring this to everything that you do, this high intensity. And so every moment is a chance to change. Every moment is a chance to heal. Every moment, built upon every moment, is your chance to heal and to slow things down and to bring a new and different energy to the scene. And bring a different reaction, bring a different response. Because this isn't just, you do it for a certain period of time. You have to be this way forever. You have to change. Healing changes you from the inside. You must change from the inside. You must change who you are as a person. Not your hobbies, not who you're married to, not where you live. People get really worried about changing everything about them. That's not what I'm talking about. You need to change by reacting and responding in a different manner, in a different system, with a parasympathetic dominance nervous system rather than a sympathetic dominance in your nervous system. So when you're changing at a root level, you aren't changing you're not changing your hobbies, you're not changing your job or your relationships or where you live. It's not about changing these parts of you. It's about changing the very deepest part of you, your central nervous system response, how you respond, how you react. It's going from a level of intensity, control, feeling like you've got to control everything and be on guard at all times, be intense, to going to a level where you breathe, where you relax, where you let down your guard, where you feel like all is okay in the world. This is a foundational change I'm talking about, and it has nothing to do with your life or the people in it. It has everything to do with you and how you react and respond to everything that you come up against in life, every person that you meet, everything that you do. And this is the internal change. This is the internal shift that heals, that you need to make. It's the biggest change that you'll ever make, and it's the only one that really matters. All the rest doesn't matter. If you can react and respond differently, then those people who trigger you in your life won't trigger you anymore. Then that job that you hate will stop bothering you, right? Then all these things that you feel like you need to change and control and take care of and move away and divorce people and cut people out of your lives and eat a totally different diet, live in a totally different climate or a totally different house, those things won't matter anymore, because how you're reacting and responding to the things that are in your life will be different. Therefore, you will be different. Therefore, your nervous system will be different, and your brain will be different, and your body will send signals and chemical signals that are different. And these healing responses, these healing chemical signals are what heal, and it doesn't matter about any other part of you that you change. This is the part that matters. This is the biggest part, and this is the only part as far as I'm concerned. There was one thing that someone asked me, what can I do? I have a chronic illness. I have chronic pain. I'm dying of a disease. I am not well. and I can't take it anymore. What do I do? What is the biggest advice? The one that you will ignore and the one that you don't want to hear is my best advice. And that is change your intensity level. Lower the life and death stakes. Get grounded, get calm, and live your life that way. Respond and react every moment, not as if your life depends on it, because actually it truly does. Your life depends on how you react and respond in every single moment, but not the way you think. Not with intensity, not with a tight grip and a tight grasp and to control it and to make it what you think it should be, but the complete opposite, to letting go in every single moment, to releasing every single ounce of control that you feel you need to exert, to letting go, to releasing, to relaxing, and to being still. To being still and remembering that you are not in control. You cannot control this. The only thing that you can control is your inner landscape. And when you work on letting go of control, I don't want you to bring an intensity level to practicing not being intense. Do you see what I'm saying? This isn't going to work if you bring this big intensity. Yes, I'm going to change. I'm not going to be intense. And you're doing it with intensity. The whole thing is about letting go, releasing, softening, opening up, loosening, breathing deeper, feeling safe, getting in a mode where you can heal. And this is the single biggest thing that you can do, and you can do it at every moment throughout your day. And when you do it with consistency and patience over and over, this is what makes the biggest impact to your healing overall. It's free. It costs zero money. All it costs is complete awareness and willingness to release and relinquish control at every moment of your life. So I hope that this video has been helpful. I hope that you can really see where I'm coming from and that I'm giving you advice that is going to help you heal yourself. I hope that you let go of everything that is causing you to bring a high intensity to your life, cause you to worry, stress, cause you to run around and turn on your sympathetic mode. Let it all go. Let it all go. Be still. It is the hardest thing to do because you feel like you're not doing anything to help yourself, but you're doing everything to help yourself. So I hope it's been helpful. And if you haven't yet subscribed, please do so. Share it around. Leave a comment. Let's work on this because it's so important. And I will see you in the next video.